Hello everyone, my name is Steven. How are you doing today? I hope you are doing fantastic. In today's topic, I'll be discussing about climate change and how it's affecting our society of today and perhaps the near future. The reason this topic is relevant to me and perhaps just overall is because climate change is a current issue and major concern that we're facing as of society of today. And what makes me credible in this topic itself is that I've researched, watched a lot of documentaries, and also written tons of essays on climate change itself and the impacts it has on the environment and also to wildlife and just to our human health overall, and the possible ways to kind of counteract this idea by finding new ways to eliminate this whole kind of concept of climate change. Because one way or another, we're not going to know when the resources that we're going to use is going to be used up all the way, and if we don't find a way right now, we're going to be more anxious in the near future. So the first main point I want to jump right into is why focus on climate change? Because there's a tons of issues or tons of answers that could be answered why focus on climate change. And for me, it's because of the resources that we're currently using up, like coal, oil, and gas. And these is going to be possibly gone one day, and it's going to take millions of years to form again. And if we find an alternative right now, it's going to be easier for us to kind of adapt to certain situations and to navigate. And not just that potential threat into using up resources, but also, if you guys think about it, it's going to possibly affect a lot of wildlife because of deforestation and the woods that we're cutting up from the trees, and also from the ice melting in the North Pole to these polar bears running off and having to find new ways to adapt to certain situations. And the deforestation part, probably certain animals, I want to specify, probably squirrels, birds that are nesting in these trees being cut down, they have to migrate to a different place to find a new home. And that's why I feel like climate change is the biggest concern as of today, and why we should focus more on it, because if not, then who will? Alright, and then the next topic I want to focus, main point, is how topic is kind of affecting our economy. And this has to be one of the biggest things, because a lot of things work with money in today's world. And this government, using our tax funds, I feel like is creating huge projects, industrialization projects, and because they have to, because of our population growth as of today. And the population is one of the biggest things as of today, because once the population increases, the more homes that we're going to have to build, and the more of the automobiles that we're going to have to build here and there, and perhaps the more of the food that we're going to have to find and kill in order to feed off these perhaps 7 billion to 9 billion in the near future people living on the earth. And these resources is going to be used up one day, so we have to find an alternative to combat these ideas. And these projects here and there can be either put towards a good use into combating the climate change idea itself, proposing a good idea, or proposing a negative idea. And there's just a lot of things that's going left and right, or down and up, positive and negative, and there's just a bunch of ways to bunch of perspectives on people's thoughts of the economy on how it's affecting climate change. But for me, I feel like the main concern is population itself, because the more people, the more resources that we're going to have to end up using one day. And the last main point I want to get into is how to reduce climate change itself. And the ways to reduce it is by recycling. That's one of the biggest things as of today. Reusing and perhaps reducing. And these things include mostly plastic, but we can also incorporate more things, which is food, because food waste is one of the biggest things as well as of today. I feel like it's almost about the rates are going increasingly up, these food waste. And another ways to reduce climate change is by possibly voting and just speaking up on the ideas itself on climate change, and perhaps going to a lot of conventions out there, because these are ways to kind of speak up on the idea itself on climate change. And jumping into alright guys, so let's review. So why climate change? Because climate change is currently one of the biggest issues that we're going to be facing as of today, and perhaps the near future, when the global population is going to hit around 9.8 billion people living on planet Earth around 2050, and it's going to be much harder to access resources and also potentially food out there, and these prices are going to be probably increase. And that's why I included economy, because climate change is really affecting our economy as of today because of the global population that's going to increase, and the more we're going to have to find new ways to adapt to certain situations here and there. And that's the overall thing that I kind of want to get right into. Thank you so much guys for watching, and as always, I look forward to seeing you all.